Okay, so the Pixel 3a XL was just launched. So in this video, I'm gonna go over cases that are available as of today on Amazon, except one. And I'll leave a link to all the cases and the screen protector in the description below. I plan on doing another case video in the next week or so, once more are released. So first, let's take a look at the custom knit case by Google. And of course they've got hashtag Team Pixel there with a really interesting package design where the case just fits right onto the cardboard. While the inside of this has sort of a peach color, almost like a velvet soft material. I'm not sure what that is. But the cool thing is they kept the tangerine button on the side just like on the phone. And just so you know, this case isn't very flexible. So to me, that's a good thing. Obviously this one's gonna pass the headphone jack test and the charging cable test just because it's completely open. The power button on this one actually feels similar to if there were no case on it. The volume button actually blends right in with the rest of the case, but you can see it sticks out just enough so you know that it's there. So it sticks up just enough around the edges so you can lay the phone face down and you shouldn't have to worry about getting scratches. And you can see there's plenty of thickness where the camera and the fingerprint scanner is. One thing I would recommend doing is adding your fingerprint scanner after putting the case on, because it does make you scan your fingerprint at a little bit different angle. So it's a pretty lightweight case, pretty minimalistic, and I would definitely recommend this case. So now let's take a look at the liquid crystal case by Spigen, or Spigen. And this is the crystal clear version. Okay, so apparently if there's a stain, they give you a cleaning wipe to clean it. Wow, this thing is super shiny and really clear. It's hard to tell on screen, but there is a texture on the inside of the case. But the outside is super smooth and fairly thick. As you can see, this material is very soft and flexible. So you'll notice they leave a lot of extra space for the headphone jack. So that's definitely a good thing. And this TPU case definitely gives it some extra grip. So I'm definitely liking that. And the cool thing about clear cases on this phone is you can see that orange power button. And for the power button test, it does feel a little bit squishy, but it seems to work every time. And the volume buttons seem to work just fine. And it does pass the headphone jack test. And as you can see, it passes the charging cable test. And it does have just enough lip so you can lay the phone face down without it getting scratched. It does leave quite a few fingerprints, but first impressions of the Spigen liquid crystal case, I would recommend this one. So I thought I ordered two cases that were identical, and while that is true, these are sold by two different companies. One is sold by Venvi. The other one doesn't say what company, but I'll leave a link in the description below for both of these. So one is sort of a teal green color, and both of these are fairly soft and flexible, with the gloss accents on the inside. And the back is sort of a matte finish, with the section at the top and bottom more of a high gloss finish. The power button on this one and the volume rocker don't stick out very much. The power button seems a little squishy and it doesn't really make a clicking noise at all. But I do like the volume button, it's nice and clicky and pretty easy to use. And you can see this one has just enough lip on the front to protect the screen. Now the opening on the headphone jack isn't quite as big as the Spigen, but as you can see, it does pass the headphone jack test. And as you can see, the ports on the bottom aren't quite exact, but it does seem to pass the charging cable test, so I'm okay with that. And the holes line up pretty good for the camera and fingerprint scanner. So since the red case is from another company, let's double check that one and see if it's the same. The red case is pretty much identical, although the ports on the bottom actually look a little better than the green one. So I would recommend these. I just don't think they're quite as good a quality as the Spigen. So this next case is from Idea line. I'm not sure if that's the brand or just the company selling this. This one is a lot more rigid. I really like the fact that the back is a clear plastic instead of TPU. I think that just makes it a little bit more durable. And then you can see around the edges, you got this black TPU material. So the power button is nice and clicky on this one. And the volume buttons work pretty good. However, this is the first one where the power and volume buttons don't stick out whatsoever. So while that makes it look really nice, functionality wise, not so good. And it looks like they leave just enough room for the headphone jack. So it definitely passes that test. On this one, you can see they leave a lot of extra room for the charging cable. Now this one probably has the least amount of screen protection. The lip doesn't stick out very much, but you can still put it face down without scratching the screen. And they did a pretty good job for the camera and fingerprint scanner. So I really like the look of this one. I just wish the power and volume buttons stuck out a little bit more to make it easier to use. Now here's a case by Top Ace. Okay, so this one is sort of a weird material. It doesn't really flex a lot, and it's got a matte black finish. And it's super lightweight. It's got almost a hard plastic feel to it, but with a soft matte black finish. So the first thing I notice about this case, it's pretty much like you have no case on it. You can see it barely protects the screen at all, and I bet if you put a screen protector on this, it's gonna stick above the case. You can see along the top, you're not gonna have any problems with the headphones. And since the bottom is all exposed, you're gonna be able to use your charging cable with no problems. It looks like the cutouts for the camera and the fingerprint scanner are pretty good. So this case is more for those people that wanna say they have a case on their phone, but if you drop it, there's pretty much no protection. So this next case is actually supposed to be by Top Ace also, but I don't see Top Ace anywhere on the packaging. This one actually comes with a little bit of a scratch on it. Now this one is more of your typical soft TPU material, super flexible, and it does have a texture on the inside, similar to the Spigen. Now the difference in this one versus the Spigen is extra thick, not as flexible, and you can see the headphone jack is quite a bit larger on the Spigen. So the power button is pretty squishy, which is sort of expected with this kind of material. The volume button is a little bit better, and it does have some clickiness to it. And similar to the other Top Ace case, there's basically no protection for the screen, so I'm pretty sure Top Ace is one you need to buy a screen protector as well. Even though the opening is smaller, it does pass the headphone jack test. And the charging port on the bottom seems to fit perfectly. Pretty good alignment on the back for the fingerprint scanner and the camera. So I really like the look and feel of this Top Ace clear case. However, I would much rather have the Spigen case. And for those of you who like to live on the edge and say, forget that, I'm not using a case, maybe you should at least try a screen protector. This one I'm gonna try out is by Poolin. And this one is a 9H if you're wondering about the screen hardness. And this one is a 3-pack. It comes with wet wipes, instructions, and support information. So hopefully I can get this on the first try so I don't have to use the other ones. so it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the screen, which should make it easier for cases to fit. Alright, so that's not too bad. I got a little bit of bubbles here on the left side. I think those will work its way out eventually. And a little bit at the top. But you can see even with the case on, there's still a little bit of gap between the screen protector and the case. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.